Prabhu. So we waited for some time, so I think we will start now. Um, so a few housekeeping things before we start. Like I request everybody to please keep your videos on if that is possible, because actually this is a kind of a compromise. This is not a online session. Actually, this is meant more to be a face-to-face session, but Corona, we are doing it online. So I would at least want to interact as much as possible with all of you. So I request everybody to please put on your video. Second is, so there are going to be a lot of things that I might be mentioning, which might be important. I mean, some of them might be important for some might be important for others. For some, maybe, you already know all this, and, I might be wasting your time, and I beg your forgiveness for that. But, so attempt is to share whatever little realizations I've had over the few years and what has helped me in my own chanting. I'm trying to share with everybody here. And also I request devotees to please do dedicated hearing. So which means that, in case you have other things to do, Mataji's, specifically if you are doing cooking, etc., kindly try to, do focused hearing, because otherwise session might not be so beneficial. And finally, I would request participation from everybody. As more the participation, better, right? Because there's not supposed to be a monologue. So I will, while I'm happy to do a monologue, but it's not going to help, right? So I request devotees to please kindly participate, right? So again, I'm requesting everybody to please put on your videos so that we can start today's proceedings. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over a bunch of concepts which are very important for chanting. So the whole session is divided into two parts. The first one is about actually understanding chanting very nicely, right? In terms of what we are trying to do. While each of us will have different understandings, let's maybe help each other to come on the same page. Number one. And second part is going to be about the problems and solutions, right? So the first part is about why chanting and different aspects of chanting, which can kind of help us understand chanting more deeply. And the second part is about the problems, real problems and solutions, right? So we will start. So the first, so we're going to start with this. I hope everybody can see my screen. So we're going to start with this beautiful bhajan. Okay, so I'm going to first read the, so first reading the meaning here. Okay, this is a beautiful bhajan called Hari Hari Pipale, right? So, okay. So if somebody can read this, it's visible.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, please, thank you. Yeah, kindly read the translation. Anybody?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay. Hari Hari Bifale. So first one, O Lord Hari, I have spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human birth and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna, I have knowingly drunk poison. The treasure of divine love in Golok Vrindavan has descended as the congregational chanting of the Lord's Hari holy names. Why did my attraction for that chanting never come about? Day and night my heart burns from the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not taken the means to relieve it. Lord Krishna, who is the son of the king of Vrija, become the son of Sachi. Lord Chaitanya and Balram become Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who were lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madhai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Vrishbhanu, please be merciful to me now. Narottam Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your reddish lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you.
So, thank you. So it's a beautiful bhajan. So let's all try and come into this mood of chanting like today by starting with this. So I'll sing. Unfortunately, we can't follow on the internet. So uh, I'll 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 do it myself, and I request all of you to please chant. So the second time when I'm chanting loud, you can all chant on your side. So that we all kind of participate in the bhajan. Hari Hari Vipale Janamakwai Hari Hari Vipale Janamakwai Manusya Janma Paya Radha Krishna Nabhadiya Manusya Janma Paya Radha Krishna Nabhadiya Janiya Suniya Vijo Kainu Janiya Suniya Vijo Kainu Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana Ratina Janni Lokene Ratina Janni Lokene Sai Samsara Vishanale Divani Sihiyajvale Samsara Vishanale Divani Sihiyajvale Durai tena koi paai Durai tena koi paai Rajendra Nandana Jai Sati Sutta hoi lote Rajendra Nandana Jai Sati Sutta hoi lote Balarama hoi loni sai Balarama hoi loni sai Hina hina jata chilo Hari nami uddharilo Hina hina jata chilo Hari nami uddharilo Sarasati jagai madhai Sarasati jagai madhai Ah Prabhu Nanda Suta Vrishabhanu Suta Juta Ah Prabhu Nanda Suta Vrishabhanu Suta Juta Karuna Karo Hoye Baro Karuna Karo Hoye Baro Narottama Dasa Koi Nathe Liho Ranga Pai Narottama Dasa Koi Nathe Liho Ranga Pai Toma bina ke ache amaro 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 Hari Hari Vipale Jana Magwai Hari Hari Vipale Jana So we'll just once more just read the meaning. So I spent my life uselessly, O Lord Hari. I've spent my life. Sorry, somebody is trying to reach. I think some participant. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask somebody to send you. We've started. Please join. Yeah. Rohit Prabhu, can you just send the link to this number, please?
Sure.
94350.
Yes. Yeah.
17147.
Sure.
Sorry. Oh Lord Hari, I've spent my life uselessly, having obtained a human form of life, human birth, and having not worshipped Radha and Krishna, I have knowingly drunk poison. There's a spelling mistake there. The treasure of divine love in Goloka Vrindavana has descended as the congregational chanting of Lord Hari's holy names. Why did my attraction for the chanting never come about? So this is the main question that we are going to discuss today. Why is it that we don't have attraction for chanting the holy name? Day and night, my heart burns from the fire of the poison of worldliness. So in some sense, Srila Narottam Das Thakur is also giving the answer. Day and night, my heart burns from the fire of the poison of worldliness, and I have not taken the means to relieve it. So we have to take the means to relieve the poison. Lord Krishna, who is the son of the king of Raja, became the son of Sachi, Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram became Nitai. The holy name delivered all those souls who are lowly and wretched. The two sinners, Jagai and Madhai, are evidence of this. O Lord Krishna, son of Nanda, accompanied by the daughter of Rishabhanu, please be merciful to me now. So it is in this mood that we will enter today's session, praying to Lord Krishna to be merciful upon all of us. And Narottama Das says, O Lord, please do not push me away from your very lotus feet, for who is my beloved except for you? Okay, so bhakti means transformations. Okay, please note some of these. I mean, these have some of these are very important. So before we start, right, one tip I'm going to provide, right, which has helped me myself in my own practice of bhakti, which is I create what is called as cheat sheets. Okay, so create cheat sheets to cheat Maya. Okay, it's a little bit of a tongue twister. Create cheat sheets to cheat Maya. Okay, what this means is generally we all have experienced this, right? And you know, when we are in a class, when we are hearing something, you know, somebody speaking, or when we are reading, you know, we hear something and absolutely it just makes so much sense. And at that point of time, you know, we are completely onto it. And then, you know, maybe a few hours, few days, depends on our absorption. And then what happens suddenly? We forget that, right? So some information, knowledge, gyan that would have come our way would have helped us at some stage in our practice of bhakti, right? But then because manda sumanda matayo, unfortunately, we don't have such sharp memories. And what happens is, you know, this knowledge kind of becomes lost. We just forget it, right? And what the practical means I have seen, which has helped me a lot, is making notes, right? So two things we have to do. One is make notes, right, which is very, very useful. Second thing is from that notes. So at the end of the day, you have to create your own cheat sheet. Now, what this cheat sheet means is it is a summary or the key points. Maybe you have 5 pages of notes or whatever, right? I'm just giving you an example, right? But you take maybe 5 points from that or 10 points from that, which are the most required. See, for us at different stages of our bhakti, different things will become important, right? So something that is important for me might not be important for Uttam Prabhu, and you know, so on and so forth, right? So the whole idea is that whatever is striking for us, whatever is going to be beneficial for us, we pick those points. And it cannot be again 5 pages of notes. You're not going to go through 5 pages of notes every time, right? Now what you do is make this cheat sheet, right, and stick it on in front of your wardrobe, Mataji's kitchen, whatever, right, wherever, or mirror, you know, if we are very fond of mirror, whatever you're fond of, right, where you're going to keep looking at more often, at least, you know, few times in a day. Make the cheat sheet and keep staring at the cheat sheet, right? And what this cheat sheet should help you is to cheat Maya, right? Which basically means that these are the things, if practiced, will help you kind of do better in your bhakti, better than yesterday, right? And this is one thing that I keep telling myself, and I also humbly request all the devotees. Progress means, am I better than yesterday? Not am I better than 3 months back, right? Or 6 months back, right? In devotion, we have to make progress. And every day, every moment is a matter of progress, right? So we have to see, look at the cheat sheets and say, okay, can I today maybe do better than yesterday, right? On these areas that are kind of, pulling me down in my practice of bhakti, right? So just a kind of a overarching tip that can, that can be used. It has helped me. So, if you think it'll be useful, kindly adopt it, right? So bhakti means transformation, right? Now, anybody wants to share what this means? I just put one statement saying that bhakti means transformation. Any thoughts? I mean, the faster kind of, all of you warm up and participate, it can help us move faster, because a little bit of involvement, participation will be nice. Uttam Prabhu?
Prabhu, transformation for me means change, complete change from what I'm doing. So when I take up to bhakti, if my spiritual life is changing, if my material life is also changing, material life in the sense not in the progress of material way, but if my material life is moving towards bhakti, that's transformation for me.
Okay, very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Anybody else wants to share? Uttam Prabhu is very senior. I am not qualified to be speaking in front of him, but just pardon me, Prabhu, if
Krishna.
No, this is actually Maryada Ullangan. Actually, I shouldn't be speaking, but I'm just trying to do my service. Yeah, anybody else wants to please share your thoughts?
For example, currently we are doing things for ourselves. So when we start doing things for Krishna, that's transformation.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, Anuprabhu, you want to say anything? I'm going to make people participate if you don't speak yourself. There's no other way. That's why I said, it's a face-to-face thingy, right? You just it's a compromise doing it online, but yeah.
Yes, Priji.
Yes.
As Rohit Prabhu said, it's a change in our habits, change in our the way we do the things. With the attitude changes.
Attitude changes. Okay, nice. Anybody else wants to share? Wants to say anything on this? This is very important. This is cornerstone of what we're going to be speaking. Okay, so see, all of us have experienced transformation, right? Like, devotees have said, transformation is basically a change, right? Now, for some of us, it might be a 360-degree change. For some of us, maybe it's a 180-degree. For some of us, maybe, it's geometrically unimaginable, more than 360 degrees, right? Which means it's just drastic changes, all of us. We have already gone through this, right? And depends on how long our journey has been in Krishna consciousness. There has already been a transformation. Now, why am I bringing this point? It is obvious, it is known that it is a matter of transformation. The point I'm making here is for us to reach where we want to reach, and we will discuss where we want to reach, right? We have undergone some extent of transformation. We have undergone transformation to some extent, right? Now, obviously, if we are having somewhat challenges in our chanting, which means that we have not undergone the transformation fully. Right, and what I'm trying to cover in this seminar or session or whatever we want to call it is that part of the transformation. Right now, again, many of these might not be new things. Right, like I said, there's nothing new in Krishna consciousness. We already heard all of it, right? But I'm just trying to bring a more practical perspective to things that we already know and have heard. Right. So please note this. This seminar is also about transformation, which means what? Transformation means practical application. See, which is why Krishna says, Vignanam Sahitam, right? Krishna consciousness is not an armchair philosophy movement, right? Srila Prabhupada said it is a movement of practical, it is about practical application, right? Anything that we hear, we are trying to actually apply in our lives. That's what we are trying to do, right? So kindly make a note, and what this means is transformation means from immediately, say after today's seminar or from next time you chant. Ideally, if you're doing a face-to-face, we would have done a chanting session, etc. But, to see yourself applying these in your own chanting, right? And saying where else are the gaps, right? And that's how we will kind of make improvement. But anyway, so this is going to be about few changes that we would want to bring about, or we should bring about in our own way of practice of bhakti, etc., so that these things will actually have an impact, right? Now, I'm going to introduce another word, right? This is also very, very powerful. So bhakti means transformation. Bhakti also means absorption, right? And this is where we actually find ourselves lacking, right? So this is the cornerstone of our bhakti, right? Actually, it is absorption, right? And we know where we are absorbed today. And the whole idea is that for us to become absorbed in bhakti. Now, what that means, we will talk about all that, right? So bhakti means transformation, bhakti means absorption. Okay, and anybody want any questions, etc., kindly, interrupt at any point of time. That's okay. Okay, so this is where we start. Your japa is a barometer of your spiritual life. Okay, so the majority of our progress, while we talk about Shravanam, Kirtanam, Navavida Bhakti, and so many angas of Bhakti, Nectar of Devotion talks about, many angas, right? But the key for us is chanting, right? Of course, the chanting has two parts, right? And one is japa, the other is, Sankirtana, like congregational chanting. This is one more thing I have seen actually. Devotees are kind of unclear, which is more important. Any answers? Which one is more important, japa or Sankirtan?
Both, Prabhuji, both are important.
Both are important. I'm asking a question, which is more important?
Congregational chanting.
Congregational chanting. Right, see, actually we should understand this, right? See, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually he came and introduced Sankirtan, right? And today also I've seen many a times, when in the temple Sankirtan is going on, which means that we all come together, once in a week, and there's glorification happening. Devotees are still chanting on their beats. Actually, this is Nama Aparad, right? This is Nama Aparad. Why? Because there's already one service going on, which is chanting, which is actually there is no way if you are in the temple hall that you can actually hear or chant properly your own japa, right? Because the whole process of chanting is to hear and chant properly, right? Hear and pronounce and hear properly. So when a loud chant kirtan is going on, how can we concentrate on our own chanting? So it just becomes namaparad, right? So actually the Sankirtan, which I'm highlighting the point here, that the purification, the higher level of more purification happens when we participate in Sankirtan. Why? Because actually you would have experienced this, right? When you're in Sankirtan, where does your mind go? Does your mind go here and there in Sankirtan? No, it doesn't, right? But when you're chanting, where does your mind go? We'll talk about where all the mind goes, right? So obviously Sankirtan purifies us faster. It has the more power. I'm not saying one is better than the other. Of course, if chanting is done purely, then there's no difference between the two, right? But in the state we are in, possibly, right, Sankirtan will have a much faster impact, bigger impact, which is why I'm also going to touch upon that in terms of what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said about specifically Grihasthas and how we should live our life. And Sankirtan is an integral part of that recommendation by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Right, so obviously Sankirtan is also important. So when you get an opportunity to engage in Sankirtan, we should engage in Sankirtan, right? Of course, when we don't have that opportunity, yes, we have our own personal chanting japa that we, right? And anyway, either way, japa is a barometer of your spiritual life. So some people say, oh, I can do, Sankirtan for hours, and if you are actually doing Sankirtan, actually doing Sankirtan, and not just on the, melody platform or, whatever, just entertainment platform, which also unfortunately we do. If we are actually doing Sankirtan properly, we should be able to do japa whole day. As in, there is no difference, right? If you are able to do 6 hours Sankirtan, you should be able to do 6 hours japa. It can't be boring. Right? Japa can't be boring, Sankirtan can't be entertaining, right? Because it's the same thing that we are doing, right? It's just one is louder, the other is personal. That's it, right? So if we are actually if Sankirtan impacts us, japa also should impact us. Otherwise, there's some gap somewhere, right? Just make a note, because this is all about practical thought process, right? Application.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, of the two, like Sankirtana and Japa, although we know that Sankirtana is more purifying, is it correct to understand that Srila Prabhupada has set standard for us for chanting 16 rounds, as it is more important for us to chant every day on our beat 16 rounds?
Correct.
Or Sankirtana is, although it's more purifying in nature, but Japa is compulsory to do every day. That's more important.
Now, let me just clarify. Again, I'm not saying either of them is more purifying. Both of them are equally purifying. Right? If we are doing pure chanting, right? We know that chanting is in 3 levels. Okay, Nama Parad, Nama Bhas, and Shuddhanam. If you are chanting in the Shuddhanam stage, then absolutely there's no difference, right? But if you are in the Nama Aparada stage, we have lesser propensity to do offenses when we are doing Sankirtan. So the purification will be faster, right? But obviously, because everybody will not have an opportunity to do Sankirtan every day, right? Of course, previously when Srila Prabhupada was on this manifested on this planet, everyday devotees used to go to Sankirtan, hours and hours of Sankirtan. Actually, they used to do more Sankirtan than Japa. You know, if they're doing 1.5 hours, 2 hours Japa, personal Japa, they used to be on the street distributing books, doing Sankirtan for practically the whole day. Right now, unfortunately for us, right now it has become reverse. Right, we do very limited. You know, book distribution is also limited. Nagar Sankirtan is also limited. Right, but it is very. I mean, this is my own experience. Right, the more we get absorbed in congregational chanting, the more the taste for holy name increases. We don't have taste for doing personal japa right now, isn't it? Isn't that a challenge all of us have? We don't have the taste now, and we'll talk about what this taste means. Right. Taste means that complete absorption, which means that your mind is not going to go anywhere else. So which means that we don't really yet have the taste, right? And Sankirtan just helps us to get the taste. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying one is, it is the Harinam only, right? But congregational chanting is the Yoga Dharma, right? Why? Because we have to help each other progress, right? That is why even Japa, it is recommended saying that, you know, you chant in the association of devotees, right? Because somebody is sleeping, somebody will come and, you know, wake us up, and, you know, we are just more conscious about chanting when we are doing it in the association of devotees, right? So it's not, I'm again clarifying, if I made that statement, you know, no, just clarifying, it's not that one is more purifying the other, both are equally potential is the same, but in terms of what will help us more at this stage is Sankirtana, right? Because that congregational chanting actually helps us to come into the, you know, get more absorbed, right? Because Japa is more distracted, Sankirtana helps us to bring more absorption, right? It's just like a one step, I would say. Okay, so moving forward, how many of us want to go back to Godhead? Sorry, I didn't add in this life. Okay, now who are not lifting their hands, who don't have their videos on, what shall I conclude? I will conclude that all of us, this is a rhetorical question, right? Otherwise we won't be here. Now, the important question is the next one. Okay, now, how many of us want to go back to Godhead at any cost? At any cost. Okay, now what does this at any cost mean? Anybody, what is your understanding of at any cost?
Come what may, I would want to go back.
Come what may, come what may.
Yeah.
Come what may.
Whatever it takes to do that, I'm ready for that.
Whatever it takes to do it, I'm ready for that.
Sacrifices which are
And
required.
I can endure any kind of adversities to get there.
Excellent. Okay, so we are ready to take on anything. We are ready to take on anything. We are ready to face anything. Okay, why I'm saying that is that what we are now setting out to do is possibly transform us in a way that we might have to take on situations, take on our own, what should I say, sense of limitations, our own perception of this world, our own perception about how we are doing bhakti, because some of us, you know, might not be really clear about where we stand, right? And it might be about changing our thought process in many ways, right? And there are one or two points which might be thought provoking and, you know, changing the way we are approaching. So at any cost, right? Which means that there shouldn't be anything which should be holding us back or slowing us down, right? Is there any reason why we should slow down? There is no reason, because at any cost we are planning to go. Now, please note this, at any cost. Now I'm asking the next question. How many of us are ready to go back to Godhead now? Now, what does this now mean? Now has few meanings here. Okay. Yes, Prabhu. Whatever your understanding, how many of us are ready to go back now? Yeah. Okay.
When we say now, are we really prepared? Is our bhakti, is our sadhana, is our devotional service, has it brought us to that level, saying that tomorrow if we have to leave this body and if Krishna says come back, are we qualified to go back to his kingdom?
Okay. Okay, that's one part of the thought process. Obviously, that is the first thing that comes to all devotees' mind. Now assume for now that we are getting special mercy. Okay, assume for a moment we are getting special mercy. Are we ready to go back to Godhead now? Okay, which means what? Which basically means what?
Leaving all attachments and
Drop the ball. Yeah, leaving all attachments. How many of us are ready to give up all attachments which are not conducive for bhakti? And don't get scared, okay? I'm not asking anybody to become sannyas. Matajis don't have to worry, right? Your prabhus will be there with you, right? So it's not a question about tyaga. It's a question of detachment, right? So how many of us are ready to give up all our attachments which are not favorable to bhakti, right? Only if we are prepared to do this, actually will we make progress, right? Now this is a very important context to set, right? So we are not here to do some entertainment, some nice things to hear, etc., etc. No, we are here to prepare seriously towards this goal, right? Now obviously what it means to go back to Godhead is, like we said, it is the main process is chanting. Now why chant? You might have heard about this multiple times. It's the Yuga Dharma, Kirtana Prabhave Smaranam Hoibe. This is very important from Chaitanya Charitamrita. What this means, Kirtana Prabhave, when this Kirtana, when this chanting becomes when it is very strong, Smaranam will start. This is at a very higher stage, when we are able to reach that stage, Smaranam will automatically, we are able to think about Krishna. Right? Kirtana Prabhave Smaranam Hoibe. Bhajaner Madhye Shreshth Nama Sankirtan. Bhajaner Madhye, meaning amongst all the angas of bhakti. That is why even when we are doing deity worship, what is going on? Sankirtan is going on. Right? It's not that we don't necessarily only chant mantras and leave it at that. Right? In our sampradaya, the whole process is around chanting the holy name. Right? So Bhajaner Madhya Shrestha Nama Sankirtan. Now this is very important. Chanting pleases Krishna. Can somebody say why chanting pleases Krishna?
Can I try, Prabhuji?
Yeah, please. There's no right or wrong, Prabhu. Just please participate freely. Yeah.
Yeah, because the very meaning of Hare Krishna mantra is we are asking Krishna to accept us back in his service. So it means we are again wanting to be reinstated again our constitutional position of eternal servants of Krishna. So I'm very happy.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
And
Anybody
it's a
else?
glorification also.
Name of Krishna and Krishna is not different.
Name of Krishna and Krishna are non different. So this is very nice, right? So if suppose say I call somebody, right? I say Uttam Damodar Prabhu or Anup Prabhu, Rohit Prabhu, right? Now what do you feel? Like if anybody calls our name, what do we feel? We feel happy.
Connected.
Feel
We
happy,
feel connected with him.
Yeah, we feel connected. We feel happy that somebody is calling me, right? So now more importantly, right? While this is very understandable to us, what if somebody calls? So I am there, and say my wife is there. Somebody comes and calls my wife, as in of course somebody whom our relative etc. comes and talks to my wife first. How will it feel? How will I feel? Bad. Okay. Some might feel bad, some might feel good. Now think about this. The first thing that we start with our chanting, what is the first word, first name that we take in chanting?
Hare.
Hare. This is the most important thing in our chanting.
Radharani.
Krishna is pleased not only because we are taking his name. Krishna is pleased because we are taking his most favorite devotee's name. Right? So Krishna is immensely pleased. That is why, in chanting, actually some devotees do chanting with a long stress on Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare. Why? Because that Hare is actually the mood of chanting starts from there. So I'm going to talk about this a little bit. The pace at which I'm going, I don't think I'm going to finish the seminar. But anyway. Okay, so this is very important, right? So we are actually glorifying Radha Rani. When we are calling out Hare, that is the starting of chanting. The starting of chanting is the concentration on that, beautiful, devotee of the Lord. And when we are chanting her name, Krishna becomes pleased. That is why chanting starts and ends with Hare. Right? We start with Hare and then we end with Hare. Right? Radha, we are trying to glorify Radharani, and hence Krishna is also pleased. Right? Of course, what Hemang Prabhu said, it is correct. We are asking the Lord to engage us in a service. Now we'll talk about that very soon. Right? Now the other thing, chanting strengthens the soul. Now, see, this we have to understand a bit, right? So we know of, various angas of bhakti. Why is it said that, chanting is the most important process? Why? Because by doing chanting, we get what is called a spiritual strength. And why spiritual strength required? Krishna says in the third chapter, last verse, saying that how do we overcome lust? We overcome lust by spiritual strength. Okay, I have Bhagavad Gita. One second, let me read that. It's a beautiful verse. Actually, this is the kind of, it helps us understand how important chanting is. Okay, so this is the verse. Evam buddhe param buddva samstabhyatmanam atmanam jahi shatrum mahabhavo kamarupam durasadam. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind and intelligence, O mighty armed Arjuna, one should steady the mind. Please note this. One should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Brackets, Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness. And thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. And what we understand, what is lust? Right? Anything which is not connected to Krishna's service, our own sense gratification is lust. Right? So we need spiritual strength. We need spiritual strength. So that is why I say, when we are doing, we read Bhagavad Gita, we read Bhagavatam, but we might not actually undergo the same change. Right? Because we need more, actually, that is why Prabhupada recommended, the 16 rounds, minimum 16 rounds of japa, because that japa gives us spiritual strength. It strengthens the soul. So I'll talk about a little bit about why the soul is weakened, what is its current state, etc. I don't know how much we can cover, but it strengthens the soul. Just remember that. Okay. And of course, finally, chanting gives love of God. Now, I have no qualification to talk about this. No. But we know that it will finally give us love of God. Right? We talked about this. Krishna likes to hear his name chanted. And more importantly, Krishna likes Radharani's name. Okay. Now, this is very important. Okay. What service are we asking for? So, we talked about saying that, we are praying to Krishna, energy of Krishna. Please engage me in your service. Okay. So, what service are we asking for? What service are we asking for? Anybody?
Says, engage me in your devotional service.
Engage me in your devotional service. Okay. So, we can start with this definition saying that engage me in your devotional service. Now, obviously, we have to go deeper here because we are in Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. And what is our aim? What is our prayojan?
Yes,
What is the final goal?
Loving devotional service.
Right? In Madhurya Bhav. Okay.
Get Krishna Prema.
Yeah, Krishna Prema, specifically in Madhurya Bhav. We are all targeting Madhurya Bhav. So there are 5 rasas, Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, Madhurya. Our goal is Madhurya. Please understand this. What is Shanta is neutral, Dasya is servitude, right? Then Sakya is friendship, Vatsalya is parental relation, and Madhurya is the conjugal relationship of love of God. Okay. So we are targeting what we are looking for is Madhurya Bhav. Now, okay. So what are we doing when we do Tulasi Aarti? Anybody remembers the wordings? Etomara Sharana Loy, Tara Vancha Purna Hoy, Kripa Kari Koro Tare. What are we asking? Vrindavana Vasi, Moraye Abhilash, Vilas Kunje Niobas, Nayene He Ribo Sada, Yugal Ruparasi. What does this mean? This is another point. Please note. any kirtan, arati, etc. that we do, it's again connecting back to absorption. Please don't chant without understanding the meaning. If you don't know the meaning by heart, or if you don't understand it, please read the meaning first. That is why we started the bhajan with first reading the meaning, then the bhajan. Because actually there is no use in, of course there is use, but the real impact comes when we actually know the meaning, right? What are we praying? What are we praying? Tomorrow is Tulsi Saligram Vivaha. It's beautiful, What are we praying to Tulsi Maharani? Make me a resident of Vrindavana. Okay, let me be, present in those groves where Radha and Krishna are having their pastimes. Let me be able to see them. Let me have that divine vision to be able to participate and serve in the Leela of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. And Guru Ashtaka also we do, right? Nikunja, what is that? What is that? Ratikeli Siddhyai, Ayalibir, Yuktir, Apekshaniya. Right? Now here also what it is saying, the spiritual master is actually serving Shri Shri Radha and Krishna in the groves of Vrindavana. Okay. And by serving such a spiritual master, because we are behind the spiritual master will give us some service. Right? So we are targeting, please remember this. This is the most important thing to kind of, drill into our heads. We are not asking for any small destination or any small accomplishment. Right? See, on the material platform, we endeavor so much, right, for small things, right? Maybe something at work, maybe some promotion, maybe something else, etc., etc. We endeavor so much, isn't it? Now we are now trying to reach what? The topmost goal anybody can achieve in this whole creation, which is of serving the Lord in this Madhurya Bhava. Topmost. Okay. So if somebody wants to climb Mount Everest, right? Will he just, okay, this is the day for climbing Mount Everest. Will he just get up? Okay, today is the day. So, I'll get up at 7 o'clock, have my bed coffee or bed tea or whatever that is. And, and I will go to Himalaya and I will start climbing. Will I be able to accomplish? No. Years and years of, sadhana would have gone in, right? Like hard endeavor with a very clear goal saying, I want to reach this Mount Everest. I want to end here, right? Nowhere else. No Ramanagara Hill. I'm not interested in Ramanagara Hill. All our material, if you know Ramanagara, right? It's somewhere near close to Bangalore, right? Small hill. Maybe in half an hour, 1 hour, you can climb that. Right? Somebody who's targeting Mount Everest will not compromise by saying, okay, I'm going to just climb Ramanagara Hill and be pleased. Correct? So what we are trying to accomplish is this, this unimaginable, right? Actually, what this is an extremely exalted goal. This cannot be compared to anything that we know in this material creation. Nothing. There is nothing as exalted. Please, this has to sit in our head, right? We are trying to achieve something which is unimaginable, right? This is such an exalted goal. Do we have a hankering for it? And what does hankering mean? Right? Like, just I will get it somehow, right? Doesn't matter. I will just get it. I have to just get it. Is this most important for us? Is there anything more important than this? This is very, very important, right? This is the foundation on which we start actually building upon our bhakti, right? Such an exalted goal, right? Just think about it, okay? All our acharyas, we are so fortunate. We are unimaginably fortunate, right? To be here, right? Just think about all our acharyas. Who are they? They're all manjaris. They're all personally serving the gopis in Goloka Vrindavan. What are we called? We are called Rupanugas. What does that mean? We're all followers of Srila Rupa Goswami, who's none other than Rupa Manjari. You know who Rupa Manjari serves in the spiritual world? Lalita Devi. Okay. So Rupa Manjari, now Lalita Devi is the foremost of Sakhis between Lalita and Vishaka, right? There are Ashta Sakhis who are prominent amongst billions of gopis, right? Ashta Sakhis are most important. Amongst them, Vishaka and Lalita. Amongst Vishaka and Lalita is the most dear. Okay. Now Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari is directly serving Lalita Devi. So where is our influence? Just think about this. Where is our influence? We are in this parampara which is going to take us there. We understand what our fortune is. It's not anywhere else. It's directly in the service of, Rupa Manjari in Goloka. Right? Now, shouldn't we have a hankering for it? I mean, what an exalted goal. Do we understand and appreciate this situation, this position that we are trying to accomplish through our sadhana? Anybody has any questions here? Because see, this is very important. This is the driver for everything. Our just realizing, saying that, what an exalted, do we have the qualification to achieve it? We talked about when he said, are we ready to give up, go back to Godhead? No. Obviously, the question is, are we qualified? Do we have the qualification? First, there are two questions here. Are we qualified? Do we have the qualification? Right? Answer to both of them, at least I can speak for myself, is no. Don't have the qualification. Right? Neither am I qualified, nor do I have the qualification. Now, what is required for that? What should we do? We should beg. Okay, so this is the key to chanting. When Prabhupada said, cry like a child, what does this crying like a child mean? Okay, that's what, this is this begging process. So what are we supposed to do every day? Getting up in the morning for 2 hours? What are we supposed to do? We are supposed to beg. What are we begging for? This exalted position, for which we are not qualified. So if something is so beyond us, can we go and ask for it with the right, saying that, give me this? No, because we are not qualified. So what mood should we be in? Begging mood. So if we are not in begging mood, we can't be doing chanting. Why? I'm going to talk about that, right? All of these are connected, right? Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said Trinadapi Sunichena? Why Trinadapi Sunichena? Because we have to be begging. Prabhu, Uttam Prabhu, is this volume still low? You sent me a long time back. I'm just seeing the chat now. Is it okay? Is it audible to everybody?
Yes, it is audible now. There is no problem,
okay.
Prabhu.
Okay, sorry. I'm just seeing the chat. Okay, so basically the point is, right now where we are not qualified. It's the most exalted goal. And so we have to beg. We have to beg. Kindly mute yourself if you're not talking yet. Thank you. Right, so we have to beg. So every day morning 2 hours is a begging process. Please remember this. Now what mode we have to go in for begging? It's not that I have an upper hand mood. Right? This is the mood in which we have to enter chanting. Okay. Okay. Now comes to the. Okay. Now let me do one thing. I'm going to just skip this. Okay. Let's come to this most important. I'm going to go back to that. So just take 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. Very quickly. And write down the thoughts that come into your mind when you chant every day. Maybe you can take today's chanting as an example, or maybe in general. Write 2-3 things that come into your mind. Maybe you don't have to make an elaborate list. Like we don't have, unfortunately, so much time. But try to make a list, right, of 1, 2, 3 things that come into your mind when you're chanting. If it is Krishna, 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 then I will stop the seminar. Because at least that's not for me. So I won't have the qualification to speak to somebody who's at that stage.
You told to write in notebook or in chat, Puji?
No, you can write in your notebook. You can write in your notebook. And Matajis also, I don't know how many Matajis are there. Interestingly, there might be the list might be slightly different for Prabhus and Matajis. Okay, just take 2 minutes and just think about it. I'm sure there will be like hundreds of them, but maybe you can just list a few of them. Okay. Maybe anybody wants to share? I'm going to just type here. Just go ahead. I mean, whoever has.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'll,
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
yeah, so what are the tasks for the day, or
Task for the day.
what is the future planning, this plan
Future plan.
mostly?
Okay. Hemang Prabhu?
Yesterday, suppose some devotee behaved like this, then thoughts will come. This devotee did like this.
Thoughts about what somebody did to us. Okay.
Thinking about household things, Prabhuji.
Household, today's to-do list.
Office
Yeah, household
work, like
things.
that.
Okay,
What is
Mataji's
next?
household things. What is next in what sense, Mataji? Like today, what is next, or what is next in life?
What is next, Prabhu? Like after my chanting, this has to be done.
Today,
that has to be done, like
right? Today's work,
today.
right? Today's work. Okay. Then what else?
Pending works.
Pending work. Okay. What about things like, say, anxiety, fear? Anything like that? Anybody experiences?
Yes, Prabhu.
Corona. Anybody feels
About
corona?
future, career.
Huh?
Tension about future and career things.
Tension about future. Yeah, future plan, career. Okay. Okay, that's it.
I am thinking
Yes, Prabhu.
that I am doing this chanting for the pleasure of Krishna.
Okay.
And I am massaging the feet of Krishna.
Okay. I'll talk about that. In a while. So, thinking about Krishna and massaging his feet. Okay. So we know that, this is just to, obviously this exercise is much longer when we have more time. But the idea is that we know that, our mind is distracted, right? Our mind is distracted from the word go, right? From the time we start chanting, our mind goes here and there. Okay. Now, we talk about how should we chant. Okay. Again, I'm still not come to the practical aspects. I'm just still in theory. Okay. How should we chant? This is a little bit of practical, right? This is our personal one-on-one meeting with Sri Sri Radha Krishna. Please remember this. This is a personal one-on-one, as in, or 1 to 2, right? As in, we are here and we are with Radha and Krishna. This is our personal meeting. Any of us got personal meeting with Narendra Modi ji? No. But what are we getting? We are getting personal meeting time with whom? The Supreme Lord and his consort. Is this something ordinary? No. Right? So like I said, we wanted to beg. So acharyas have given us a way to beg. Right now in this begging, it's not group begging. It's individual begging. Okay, and we have this personal time. Please remember this before you start chanting. This is personal time with Radha and Krishna. Personal time. Okay, now just to construct your chanting in your own head, right? I wanted to do this exercise, but I don't think we can do it here. Now, just imagine exercise of two people talking, right? Suppose, say, just consider that you are talking to another devotee, right? Or you're talking to somebody at office, right? Or you're talking to somebody at home, right? How will this conversation be? Will it be focused? Like, as in, you're talking to somebody, will your mind be now bringing, all your, what you have to do in the, whatever we said, right? Future, today's plan, tomorrow's list, etc. I mean, you're having a conversation with somebody you like, assume, right? Will your mind go here and there? No, right? A simple example I give is, suppose say I call you, right? I call and I start a call. When you're on that phone call, where is your mind? Where is the mind?
On the phone only.
Phone, right? You are completely engaged, you are completely absorbed, you are practically, you are feeling like you are behind that person with whom you are speaking, right? Will you feel distance? Will you feel, oh, no, I don't, it doesn't look like I'm talking to that person. Maybe I should be there only physically present. No.
No.
We feel like we are right there, right?
Yes.
We actually, the distance actually goes off, right? Actually, the distance is merged or blurred or it ceases to exist. This is called absorption. This is called conversation. Now we are still not talking about begging. This is just a normal conversation, right? In a normal conversation, when we have the heart, our heart is in that conversation, when we want to do it, that is why I'm talking about hankering, right? All this, why? Because we don't want to talk to Krishna and Radha right now. While we want to, we don't want to. Achintya Beda Beda. Right? We want to because acharyas have said, but we don't want to because our mind is thinks there are so many other things more important than Radha and Krishna. But if we are talking to somebody, a loved one, our mind is not going to go anywhere else. If talking to somebody over phone, our mind doesn't go anywhere else. So what does this mean? This means that these ordinary mundane conversations that we are having are more important for us, or we are more engaged there than we are engaged while we are chanting. Unfortunate but true. Right? Now, how will we chant? Now the second step. How will we chant if Radha and Krishna actually appear in front of us? Where will our mind go? Anywhere?
Nowhere.
Today's activities, tomorrow's plan, future, career, fear, anxiety. Which means what? It means that we are not chanting with this consciousness. We are not chanting with this consciousnness that the Nama is non-different from Krishna. We want Krishna to be physically present before us. But actually, Nama Chintamani Krishna, Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha, Puna Shuddho, Nitya Bhinnatva Nama Namino. Abhinatva. Non-different. Krishna's name is non-different from Krishna. See, this is our conventional thought process that we want Krishna to appear. We think that the only way to see Krishna is through the eyes. That is why our Acharya said, saying that we are in the hearing process. We are not in the seeing. We are not in the seeing business. We are in the hearing business. Okay, so we have to hear. By hearing, we are feeling. We should feel Krishna's presence, because Krishna's Nama is not different from Krishna. So it is as good as that phone call. It is as good as Krishna being there. So when we are chanting, we have to remember this. Whom am I So I have logged into a call, right? Most of you understand this business, this language, right? You are logged into a call, right? Call started at 4:30 a.m. Right? We start our call by chanting the Panchatattva mantra, praying, of course, to Guru Srila Prabhupada, Panchatattva, saying, please give me this connection, enable this connection. Connection is established. Hare Krishna, there's a little bit of disturbance somewhere. Can you please mute? I don't know. Right? So the connection is established. Okay? And once the connection is established, we start the conversation. What is this conversation? Is about begging for seva. Where? In Goloka Vrindavana. So this conversation, the meeting has been set up at a particular time. All of us have our own time. And we start this conversation. And when we start the conversation, immediately we should remember, oh, this conversation is with Radha and Krishna. Not with somebody else. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I was just asking that, for example, we are taking example of talking of two people. So in that case, both are participating in that conversation. But
yes, here also Krishna is reciprocating. See, this is why spiritual and mental. See, we think that Krishna is not reciprocating. We don't have the qualification to hear today, right? His reciprocation. I mean, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaram Achintya Gunaswarupam Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. No, pure devotees, Srila Prabhupada saw Krishna in front of him, smiling. He gave his garland to Prabhupada. No, we don't have the qualification. But see, just because we don't have the qualification doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Right.
Right? So please understand that Krishna is reciprocating. Why is otherwise Krishna saying, I will be pleased by your kirtan or japa? If he's not going to, it's not like some post facto, right? That is live conversation happening. It's live conversation. If Krishna is pleased, you will know. If you become pleased. Okay. So this is a live conversation. Please remember, we don't understand how to dissect it or understand it or experience it at this point of time, but it's a live conversation. Okay. So we have to beg like a child. So please change your chanting. Don't call chanting. From tomorrow, call it begging. Did I do my begging seva? This is begging seva. Okay. So begging has a style. We have to do begging style conversation. There are different types of conversation. I'm calling this a begging style conversation. Right? It's not a peer-to-peer happy, I will give. It's not an upper-handed conversation. It's a begging style conversation. Now, how should we beg? Beg with love and affection. What does this mean? What does love and affection mean? Suppose we are asking something from somebody, right? We should say, please, you can give me this, like nice with affection, saying, I want to serve you, Krishna. I'm not qualified. This is the mood. I mean, don't start. I'm not saying replace your chanting by these words, right? But this is the mood. Mood is saying, Krishna, I'm not qualified, Krishna. It's such an exalted goal. Whatever we spoke about, right? That is the mood in which we have to enter, right? Krishna, please, you're most merciful. This is the mood in which we have to enter the chanting, right? So chant with love and affection. Clearly, chant clearly and hear attentively. So I am saying here, remembering the form of the Lord is Maranam. Please note. Don't try to remember the form of the Lord. Don't try to do anything else while chanting. The only process, the process of chanting is to just chant clearly. Pronounce the names clearly. Hear each and every nama. Why we have to hear each and every nama? Because each and every nama is the nama of Radha and Krishna. We can't be indifferent to them. We can't be indifferent to Radha and Krishna, right? Maybe I covered it somewhere else, but of course, see, I am not getting into all these 10 offenses. You know all this, right? Please read if you have not read. There are 10 offenses. There's the 11th offense, right? Now we should be doing chanting free of all this. But how will we? This is our outcome, right? The outcome, how will we become free from all offenses? When we are chanting with love and affection, when we are begging nicely. See, when we are begging for something, where is our attention? In that begging, because we want that. It is not lip service begging. We are not just doing begging for the sake of begging. We are begging because we really want this, isn't it? If we really want this, whatever we are asking for, please, we should do it wholeheartedly. What is the point in doing half-hearted attempt of begging? Is that okay? Right? So this is a begging process. Begging has to be done nicely. If suppose say we are going, after initiation, people would have had that experience, right? You go to other Vaishnavas and, of course, we don't beg. We just ask out of right, mera initiation ho gaya, de dijiye, right? But actually, the whole thing is actually you have to go out begging for your spiritual master, not within the pandal of the initiation, right? But anyway, I mean, don't take some of these things very seriously, right? The whole idea is to actually get rid of our false ego by going and begging, right, for our spiritual master, and then offering it in his service, right? So when we go, we can't say, aaj mera initiation hai, 10 rupaye do or 100 rupaye do. No, that's not. No, nobody's going to give it outside if you go, right? Say, please, I'm using this for service of the Lord. Can you please offer something? Right? The mood has to be not about command, not about that I have the right, you have to give it to me. No, it is begging. Begging means I don't have any position. I don't have any position. I'm not qualified. Is that okay? Okay. So then we talked about various thoughts that come into our mind. How offensive we are. How offensive we are during our chanting. You know, I give this example. Guest has come at home. He's sitting in front of us. Right? What should we do when there is a guest at home? We have to give full attention to the guest. Right? Guest has to be treated as good as God. Then if suppose say somebody calls us at that point of time, and then we are sitting in front of the guest is sitting, I'm on my phone, half an hour over, guest is just sitting, how will it be? Suppose somebody does this to us, will we feel nice? Will we again go to that person's house?
Embarrassed.
Right? And we say, why? I mean, this person doesn't have any value for me. As in, he doesn't like me, he doesn't want me, right? Why should I come here? I go somewhere else. Just imagine, we are doing this to Krishna every day. We are doing this to Krishna every day. Krishna has not stopped coming. That is his mercy, right? Just imagine how merciful he is. Every day for eternality, like, you know, Nitya Baddhas, eternally he's giving us an opportunity to actually call out his name. Every day we are offensive. Every day he's still okay. He's okay, okay. Kuch, you know, small child, broken words. You know, it's okay. Try. So this, I mean, this guilt has to be there in us, saying that, what am I doing? I called Krishna. I've started the connection. I called Krishna. Now I am on my own trip. Going here, there, this work, that work, something else. Where is Krishna? And like again, I said, like, you know, no thinking about anything else in chanting. Chanting means chanting clearly each and every nama, hearing attentively. How will we know if we are chanting, pronouncing clearly or not if we don't hear? Japa is a one-person process. It's not a two-people process. It's not like you make, you know, first one Prabhu chants or Mataji chants, then Prabhu, another person is sitting and hearing. Okay, did you hear? Did you chant properly? Oh, no, you didn't chant this nama properly. No, we don't have anybody else to over here sit and hear how we are chanting. How will we know if we are chanting nicely? Every nama of every mala? We only have to hear. So if we don't hear, we don't even know what we are chanting. And then what is the question about love, affection and all? You're not even involved in the conversation. You're simply doing some mechanical stuff. Mechanical stuff is not going to give us absorption. Please we remember, right? Bhakti is all about absorption. Doing stuff mechanically is not going to give us absorption, which is why I said, you know, if you're chanting Tulasi Arti, Guru Astaka, etc., you know, please get absorbed in the meaning. Know the meaning of each of these bhajans that we sing daily, right? Of the pranam mantras that we chant, etc., because we need absorption. We are not trying to do this mechanically. Is that okay? So we are being offensive. It's a fact. Why are these thoughts coming? So many thoughts. Material attachment. Nobody talked about this. Okay, we sincerely believe we are the body. How many of us sincerely believe we are the body? We have been told you are spirit soul, you are not the body. How many of us sincerely believe we are spirit soul? Sincerely believe means firmly 100%, no doubt. Okay, Madhurya Mataji says she believes. Okay, who else believes 100% we are not body? So this is very, very important, right? If we are 100% firmly fixed that we are not the body, then we should not have any material attachment. We should not have any attachment to this body. We should not have any attachment to anything connected to body. Job, fear, anxiety, something is going to happen, mental pressure, blah, blah, blah. Whatever we are experiencing on the material platform, nothing should exist. Please remember, while we want to think that we are on that platform, we are not yet there. We might not yet be there. Okay. If we are on the spiritual platform, if we sincerely believe that we are the soul, we don't think there's any other work to be done at all, except the work of the soul, which is to serve the Lord. Okay, but we are not completely on that platform while we want to get there, right? So material attachment. So thoughts about material attachment. What are material attachment? Oh, I have to go here, I have to go there, this job, that, what is the plan for today, what is the plan for tomorrow, whatever, right? What are the things to be done, etc., etc. So many things, all material things, right? Because we are too attached to them, we are thinking about them during chanting. Okay, anxiety, fear. We don't firmly believe that I am the spirit soul. And anxiety, fear is all about uncertainty. Oh, what is tomorrow? Okay, this thing happened. What is going to happen about it? Something else, you know, whatever. Today, Corona has done enough. This one, right? Like, what is going to happen? You know, will what is that? Vaccination come? You know, I don't know. I mean, whatever, right? We might have hundreds of thoughts, right? Anxiety, fear. Again, because we don't really believe that we are spirit soul. But we believe that we are the body. False ego and envy of the Lord. Okay, this is very important. Okay, why false ego? Because actually true ego means I am the servant of Krishna. If I am the servant of Krishna, why should I worry about anything else? Why should I worry about planning or something? Nothing, right? And I also envy the Lord. Why I envy the Lord? Because I also want to enjoy. All my thoughts, some of my thoughts might be just enjoyment. Might not be anything connected to Krishna consciousness at all. Right? Maybe there for somebody, maybe not there for somebody, but these are all the different thoughts that come into our mind. This is very important. We don't have full trust in Krishna. So actually there is one more, this one, right? Atma is never satisfied with any amount of material planning. All the planners, please make a note of this, Prabhupada's words. Atma is never satisfied with any amount of material planning. How much ever material planning you do in your japa, it's not going to stop. If you think, oh, today I'm going to finish this planning business and from tomorrow, you know, everything will be planned and sorted. No, tomorrow you are seeking newer opportunities because Atma will never be satisfied. So don't do planning. Planning is not going to, you know, it's like we think, oh, if I do this, then, you know, everything will get sorted out. That day never comes. Why we are thinking so much about all these material things? Why? What is the root cause? Because we don't have complete trust in Krishna. We think that we have to do all these things ourselves. That if we don't do, these results are not going to come, whatever we are looking for. In fact, actually we should think about it. How trivial are these thoughts that come into our mind when we are chanting? How trivial? Something about days planning, what work to do. I mean, how trivial are they? Are they so important? Are they more important than Krishna? But we entertain these thoughts. This is where our problem is. We entertain these thoughts. We say, it's okay, nice. You know, I like this planning business. Right? Sense gratification. Envy of the Lord. If you are really a servant of Krishna, we'll say, nonsense. This is not the time for you. Please, I will come back to you. Yes, I will do. It is my duty. I know. I will come back to you. This is not your time. This is not time for planning. Time for planning is after japa. After I finish my japa, then, you know, maybe 5 minutes I will take to plan my day. That's fine. But we should understand, see, we have material attachment. We have anxiety, fear. We have false ego. All rooting from no full trust in Krishna, no complete surrender to Krishna. We are not completely dependent on Krishna. We still believe that I am the Karta. If we believe that I am the doer. See, if I am the doer only, I have to plan. No. And we firmly believe this. No doubts. No half-hearted. We are very firmly, very clear saying that I am the doer. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Are Baba, you are not the doer. He said, no, Krishna, I am the doer. I will start that practice from the time of chanting only. I am not the doer. We are not the doers. We are servants of Krishna. Why these things are said? So that we change our behavior. We change the way we think. We change the way we do things. See, why this is called Krishna consciousness. We have to be conscious about Krishna and our Krishna's position, our position at every moment in our day. Please note this. Krishna consciousness means being conscious about my position of being a servant of Krishna at every moment in the day. At every moment in the day. Okay. So this is what we are doing while we talked about what should we be doing, completely hearing and chanting, with full concentration. Why? Because I'm calling out the glorious names of Shri Radha and Krishna. Both Radha and Krishna are going to be pleased. And why am I chanting? Because I'm begging for the glorious service which I have no qualification to attend. While we have to be doing that, we are doing totally something else. So it's all about absorption. Where are we stuck right now? We are stuck in material absorption. We have to move from material absorption to spiritual absorption. See, please note this word absorption. It's like very, very powerful. Okay. You take a sponge and if there's water, you just keep the sponge on the water. What happens to the water? Gone. It has to be like that. The absorption has to be so deep. And this absorption is not, it's not going to come just like that. This absorption is a matter of continuous effort. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the second part of our conversation. I hope, I don't know, we have 40 minutes. How many of us are hard pressed to stop at 11:30? Anybody here who wants to like mandatorily end at 11:30, or do we have time to maybe go 15-20 minutes more if required? Okay.
Okay, to go a little beyond, Prabhu. I don't think it should be a problem, at least for me personally.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can go a little beyond.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Okay, so this is, I'm now coming from Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrita. Okay, so what are the behaviors? Now I'm going into the practical. This is the, doctor analysis now, right? We are analyzing now, saying that this is what is the result? The result is in the morning when we are chanting, our mind is going here and there. Why is it going? What is causing this behavior? What is impacting this behavior? Is what Srila Rupa Goswami has given. See, our acharyas have given everything. All diagnosis, analysis, prognosis, everything has been done. You have to just understand it. Okay, so this is that beautiful words from Upadeshamrita. Vacho Vegam, Manasa Vegam. What does this mean? Urge. We have an urge to speak. We have the urge to think, mentally speculate. Krodha. Some people have, some people don't. But Krodha, right? And it is expressed in different ways. Anger, frustration. I didn't get this. Right? Just think about this. These are our behaviors throughout the day. Jiva, tongue. I want to eat this. I want to eat that. I want to speak also. Vacho and Jiva both connected. Udaropasta, belly. I'm not happy with just eating so much. I want to eat so much. I want to eat this. I want to eat that. So Jiva and Udarapasta are. Then, of course, genitals. This whole attraction towards the opposite sex is very overpowering. Atyahara. Okay, now comes this is the mind. Okay, the first 5-6 are the mental makeup in some sense, right? Like how we are thinking, what we do when we, get things, the kind of, urges we have, etc. Next is practical, what we do. Atyahara. What is Atyahara? I want to spend a little bit time on this. What is Atyahara? Anybody knows what is Atyahara?
Eating more than what is required for sustenance of the body.
And there is a second part, which is very important for Grihasthas.
Collecting more than necessary.
Collecting more funds than necessary. Okay, this is very important. We are all running behind material success. This is Atyahara. Okay. Second, Prayasa. What is Prayasa? Over endeavoring. What is the difference between endeavor and over endeavor? Srila Rupa Goswami has said over endeavoring. Endeavoring for something which is material but which is very difficult to achieve. Prayasa. Now, what these things do to our consciousness? Absorption. When we are going behind Atyahara and Prayasa, our mind is absorbed in that. Because we are doing more than what is required. When we do more than what is required, what happens? We get sucked into it. Okay, please note these. These are practical things. Right now, I'm not necessarily saying that one has to do this, do that. Right? I'm giving general symptoms. Now, all of us have to personally figure out what is preventing us, where are we stuck, and apply some of these. Right? Atyahara prayasa, prajalpa. Okay, what is prajalpa? Talking some unnecessary mundane matter. Huh? How many of us do prajalpa in the day? Huh? It's like somebody yesterday was asking, what is the cure for corona? I said prajalpa, right? We have no idea, right? We want to just talk about everything that is happening out there, right? A to Z, we have no understanding of what is going on. You know, Uttam Damodar Prabhu might have a better insight, but we don't know, right? As general public, we don't know. But we want to talk about something. When will this end? What is the prediction? This, that. What is the use? Is it going to help? Of course, if it helps me in becoming more Krishna conscious, saying that it is so insecure, world is so insecure, let me become more Krishna conscious, very good. Then it's not prajalpa. But it's just for entertainment, some knowledge value or showing off that I've read somewhere something. What a waste of time, right? And I see a lot of devotees actually spending a lot of time reading some of this stuff and putting all that. What happens? Garbage in. What is the outcome? Garbage in, garbage out. So we should do. I mean, I'm not saying we should become blind and ill-educated or unaware of what is going on. Yeah, basic minimum, whatever is required. Okay, somebody said put a mask. Somebody said follow these rules and regulations. Don't touch. Yeah, we should know all that basics, right? And say, okay, fine. This is practical, right? Because we need to do it on a day-to-day basis. Right now, whether there's a vaccination is going to come or not, who knows? I mean, it's something that is totally, and I'm not in any way going to contribute into that, nor is that going to help me in any way. Of course, if it comes, maybe if it is required, then there are so many controversies about this vaccine, etc. No, it is not required for us, right? It's just not required. Conversation is not required. Maybe information is required, right? We get so sucked into it now. For that, we read news articles, somebody published something else came. Where is our consciousness? Where is our absorption? Is it in Krishna? If you look at all this and say Krishna is so powerful, see, one little corona is left into the whole universe and people are jumping up and down. Yes, Krishna consciousness, right? And what we do about it is become more serious in our own practice of Krishna consciousness. Then it's useful. This is what our acharyas taught, right? Use everything in making things favorable for us in Krishna consciousness. Yukta Vairagya, right? But generally, just for the sake of conversation, no use. Atyahara, Prayasa, Prajalpa. Okay, this is very important. Niyama agraha. So this has two parts: niyama agraha and niyama agraha. Okay, so one is following rules and regulations just for the heck of it. Somebody has said I will follow. Other is I don't want to follow. Right. So this is of no use, right? For example, our Acharya clearly said consciousness, right? Absorption, don't go into this TV business, entertainment business, eating non-prasadam, food something else, this, that. The more we are, and if we talk about all these people say, Prabhu, this is all too strict. No fun in Krishna consciousness. Like we said, that's why I started saying that bhakti is a transformation. It's not a fun. We are not here to have fun. Of course, we will have fun when we go back to Goloka, right? But for getting that, I mean, I won't call it fun because it will look like sense gratification, right? But it is in that service of the Lord, that bliss, actually we get the bliss, right? When we are completely dedicated in serving the Lord. But for that, we have to work hard. We can't have the path is also fun and the goal is also bliss. No, path is struggle for ending goal of being blissful, engaged in the service of the Lord. Right? So there are certain things that we have to stop. So for these, we have to put a full stop. Now, why am I talking about all this? Because these are all affecting our consciousness. These are all affecting our absorption. Please don't think that chanting is a morning to our business. The whole idea about this presentation is to show that it is consciousness. It gets built up, it builds up during the day, during weeks, months, years of our practice of Krishna consciousness, it builds up. The more we are conscious about protecting our consciousness, right? The faster we will progress in bhakti. We have to be very conscious. How is my consciousness getting affected? How bad is it? How fallen is my consciousness? And protect the consciousness, right? That is what I'm going to talk about surrender right soon. Janasanga. Oh, this is a major problem for many devotees, right? Janasanga is basically just association of people who have no interest in Krishna consciousness, materially minded. And Prabhupada also says people who run behind women. We should not associate with such people. And also, see, there is one more thing here. Association has two parts, not just physical contact, as in, like you, it's not that we are not saying go into a secluded place, right? Give up everything and go somewhere, right? No, don't associate with them, which means that don't get influenced by their thought process. You know, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Raghunath Das Goswami saying, Raghunath Das Goswami wanted to leave his family at one point of time, first time, right? And Raghunath Das Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you just go back, do whatever is required externally. Internally, your mind should be completely in Krishna. Of course, we are not so exalted. We find it very hard to practice this, right? But we should understand. We just do whatever we have to go, engage with people, talk to people. Just do it. Don't take anything that they give into. We should not take anything into our heads. It's just mechanical. That's where it has to be mechanical. We do it opposite. Where it has to be mechanical, we become absorbed. Where it has to be, where absorption is equal, we become mechanical. Right? Thoda switch ulta ho gaya hai. We have to just reverse the switch. Laulyam. Okay, this is another thing I see. Devotees, material attachment, gadgets. Some new Apple blah has come, whatever they keep releasing every now and then. And then people are, spending 1 lakh for a phone. I said like, what is this? As in, I'm saying, what is it like made of gold? Maybe then I can take it and keep it if there is a resale value, but there's no resale value, right? Next moment you buy the phone, you want to sell it, you will get maybe 15,000 for that phone, right? And people are crazy just behind all these material, stuff to achieve, accomplish, all this is going to be distracting, right? So this is very important. These things, okay, these things are our problems. Are there other problems? Anybody else thinks there are more problems? I'm sure there'll be more, but I'm sure like Rupa Goswami has kind of given a concise summary of, synopsis of all our main problems. Okay, so these are our main problems. Anybody has any questions at this point of time? Do we agree, not agree? Do we think there's something else? Or is the flow of the conversation okay? I mean, are we going step by step from, trying to understand? Any thoughts at this point of time? Because we already crossed more than half.
Yes, project is helping.
Okay, right. So these behaviors are a problem, right? First, we have to acknowledge this. Our behaviors are our problem. Now, so this is where the real thing comes. Are we serious about overcoming our problems? Are we serious? Do we want to overcome our problems?
Yes, for sure.
Right? How many of us think we can't overcome these problems? Okay, be sincere to yourself. Okay, this is very, very important. What I'm going to speak next. I mean, it is something which has made a huge change in my life. So how many of us really think that we cannot solve these problems? Now in this English also, there is some very trick of words, the way this has been constructed. How many of us think we cannot overcome these problems? What is the emphasis here? Emphasis is on
we cannot alone.
So, and naturally we will say no also. We will say, yes, Prabhu, these are all too difficult. I can't do. Right? Now, what this means? Means that we don't want Lord's mercy. Please think about this. When I say I can't overcome my problems, that means I'm saying that it is all by my own effort. Okay? It is all by my own effort, and my efforts are not strong enough to help me overcome this. Where is Krishna in the picture? Is there Krishna? No Krishna. Tata bye bye. Krishna, take a break. See, we should remember this. That is why this Damodar month, I use this throughout the year for myself and definitely telling others, right? Please remember, first, don't think we are more powerful than Krishna. If I ask this question, we'll say, no, I don't think like that. But our behavior reflects that. Okay. We think that our own limitations, prakriti, nature, people say so many things, right? My nature is like this, my this, that, and all that. So which means that we are saying nature is more powerful than Krishna. My nature is more powerful than Krishna. So I can't change. I can't overcome my problems. See, when we so sometimes I ask, if I say tell devotees, Prabhu, why don't you do this service? Say, no, Prabhu, this is very big. Please go and preach to some new. No, Prabhu, I've never preached before. What does this mean? Where are we stuck? Anu Prabhu, you are on mute if you're saying something. I can't hear you, at least. Right? So when we say something like this, I can't do, or I can't preach, or, where are we? Where is our consciousness?
Actually, the consciousness is lying only in I, me, myself. We are not going beyond that.
Where is Krishna? Krishna consciousness is about Krishna first. See, this is why we have to understand Bhagavad Gita nicely, right? Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, how do devotees actually overcome problems? Devotees overcome problems not by simply, of course, when we are in a very exalted state, we don't do anything, Lord comes and takes care, right? But we are not in that stage, right? So we'll not talk about that because we don't want to imitate and do some wrong things, right? Now, for us at our level, at least I can talk about myself, we have to put some effort, right? But we forget the second part, which is who actually sanctions? Lord, I mean, even for ordinary materialists, the Lord is sanctioning as Paramatma. What about devotees? We call ourselves devotees, but Krishna is not in the picture at all. Right? So we have to try and bring Krishna into the picture every time. This is Krishna consciousness, right? Then only then in the morning chanting, we'll think about Krishna. No, now whole day we are thinking about I, myself. How will I think about Krishna in chanting? Is that okay? Krishna has to be in the center. And when I say no, it is not possible, what am I doing? Read my second line. I am restricting the Lord's mercy. See, it is like this, okay? So why Sudama Brahmana did not have any opulence? And then he got the opulence. What is the difference? What was different? Think deeply, okay? We shouldn't simply say that he went and met Krishna because that is external, right? As of course he went and met Krishna, but Sudama is a pure devotee. He was in touch with Krishna throughout. What changed? What changed due to which he got that opulence, wealth that he didn't have before?
He continued to depend on Krishna.
He continued to depend on Krishna. First also he depended. See, first only he could have got the opulence. No, he was anyway dependent on Krishna. Why Krishna gave opulence at that point of time?
Because he didn't ask for it. Despite his wife forced him to go there and ask for it, he never asked for it. He said, no, Krishna will give it himself.
No, he didn't even say that. He didn't say that. He didn't even bother about it. He didn't even think about that. He said, okay, there's a problem. TK, there's a problem. Do chanting Hare Krishna. That's it. Right? He didn't even bother about that problem. Right now, when his wife came and, said, really, you have this friend, why don't you go ask? He said, ask, no, I don't want to. But then he thought, oh, okay, anyway, let me go and meet Krishna, right? That's the perfection of my life, right? So he went while his wife wanted him to ask. He went with the full mood just to go take darshan of Krishna and come back. Right? In fact, Prabhupada, beautiful, actually, you should read that Sudama episode. Right? So next day, everything over, like Prabhupada, like he took that, chipped rice, and Krishna is like, rejoicing, and then Sudama is like, okay, happy, everything done, and he's just walking out. Then when he's going, you think, okay, I didn't ask anything. Yeah, it's okay. Right? But because there was as husband and wife, maybe there was a need at that point of time, right? And even remotely, there was some thought saying that, okay, maybe it will help my wife. He didn't think it will help me. Okay, maybe it will help my wife take care of her responsibilities, whatever, right? There's maybe an inclination of desire there saying that I am okay. Not desire, actually. That's a wrong statement. He is now became okay to get wealth. He didn't want it. Previously, he did not want wealth. Okay. After this, he said, okay, maybe if it is required. Thus, just this change, the Lord made it happen. So what is important is our sincere desire, not for achieving wealth, for doing service, for actually doing this chanting nicely. We should have sincere desire. Okay, I have all these anarthas. Oh Krishna, please, you are the most powerful. Please take away all this nonsense. I'm sick of these. They've just been troubling me all my life and they continue to trouble even after I've come into Krishna consciousness. Have sincere, serious desire. We should not bring our own ability into the picture. If we bring our ability and restrict, then we are restricting Lord's mercy. If somebody says, yes, Prabhu, but I say, stop. You're restricting Lord's mercy. Sudama had restricted, right? He said, I don't want. That's fine. I'm happy that way. We restricted by saying, I'm happy with my anarthas. I don't want anything. I don't want to change, right? Because it's giving me happiness. It's giving me sense it's gratifying me actually. My anarthas gratify because that's why we are so stuck with that. Why would we be stuck with anarthas if they are not helpful for us? If they don't give us some kind of happiness? They are giving us in a very subtle way. So we want to hold on to those. No, Krishna, it's okay. Thank you. You want to remove one? No. If you push, you will push very hard. No, I don't want. No, I will run at my own pace. Maruti van. धक्का दे दिया तो then क्या होगा? So we are not ready for all this. We say, okay, Krishna, it's fine. I know I have to overcome, but take a little bit time. Right? So this is very, 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 very important. I can't emphasize it enough. Okay? We should not restrict the Lord's mercy in the name of humility. And people, devotees many times take this humility route. Oh, Prabhu, I'm so fallen, which means that I want to be fallen. See, a humble person doesn't say these words. He doesn't say, I am fallen, I am this, I am that. He does in action. We don't have to speak these things. And especially, and when this happens, not in general, when there is service. Oh, I'm so fallen, I can't do this service and this and that. It means that, we just don't want Lord's mercy. So please remember, this taking away all these anarthas, these behaviors, this nonsense that is happening to us is just a matter of complete, sincere, serious desire and letting the Lord work, letting the Lord's mercy work. It's as simple as that. But we should have sincere, intense desire. Okay, again, so question, we want to go back to God, right? Why? Because we know what is now stopping us, what is preventing us from getting there. Right? So again, the answer has to be an emphatic yes. We're going to work on these. We're going to bring about these changes in the way we are thinking, approaching our own bhakti. And of course, then when I ask this question, do we want to love Krishna? Then everybody says yes. Now I'm asking another question. What does it mean to love Krishna? Because this is also very important for how it affects our chanting. What does it mean to love Krishna? Any answers?
Thinking about Krishna all the time.
Okay, thinking about Krishna all the time. Okay.
Doing something without expecting anything.
Without expecting anything.
Means thinking what will means pleasure of Krishna is more important to me than my own pleasure. That means I love Krishna.
Okay. So I'll give one very small example. Okay. So there's a newly married couple. Okay. So two boy and girl got married, and they're so ecstatic. The girl is so ecstatic. The guy goes to work, comes back in the evening, and ting tong, bell rings. You can visualize, right? Bell rings, and then she opens the door, and with a huge bouquet of red flowers and some big heart and some card and this and that and all that, and then she welcomes him inside and she gives all these gifts, and like romantic conversation, talk is going on, blah blah. It is 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, still talk is going on. Then the man is hungry. Okay, so he says, dear, can we have our dinner? It's been a long day for me. Maybe we can chat during dinner. She's like, oh, dinner. Oh my God. I was so busy. Actually, you won't believe it. Actually, you went to work at 9:30. I left home at 9:30. Full day I've been searching. I found this beautiful flower somewhere in the corner of the, city, and I'm so sorry. I totally forgot about dinner. Okay, no problem. They were in, modern times. Swiggy was there, so they quickly ordered some Swiggy, and then, their dinner was done. Okay, fine. first day. Second day again, same thing happened. Again, some new, totally different from previous day, and so much of love and affection again. 8 o'clock, 8:30, dear, lunch, dinner. Oh no, you know what? Today also same thing happened. So next day, the man, what does he do? I mean, Matajis, please don't get offended. I'm just, it's just to highlight the whole point, right? So next day morning, the guy, before going to work, he said, I have one small request with you. Today, please don't give me any gift. I'm okay with no gift. But maybe you can just prepare some dinner when I come in the evening. I'll be hungry. What do we understand from this? I'm just giving this very dramatic narration. What do we understand from this about love? Because whatever we talked about, also thinking about Krishna, is it on this platform of I'm going to give gifts to, my loved one, but I'm not going to give him dinner? What is the parallel? What did Prabhupada called? Prabhupada used the word. What did he define bhakti as?
Unalloyed.
Bhakti is service. Bhakti means service. Love means willing to serve. Okay. If you say we are loving Krishna, that means we should be willing to serve. Anything, whatever it takes, whatever is required. Do whatever it takes. Okay. Love for Krishna means love for Guru. Love for Srila Prabhupada, love for our acharyas. What did our acharyas teach us? Did they sit and meditate? Of course, they did all that. But along with that, what did they do? So much of work, right? So much of hard work. 22 hours, our, Goswamis were practically like 22 hours, 23 hours in a day. They were working hard to please Krishna. This is love. Right? We are not on the sentimental platform in Krishna consciousness. That is why it is called devotional service. It is not devotion. Right? If we want this love, we have to do Tivra Bhakti. Okay, what we are doing right now is Mishra Bhakti. We have to do Tivra Bhakti. Tivra Bhakti, I'm going to talk about in a bit. We need to go from Sadhana Bhakti to Bhava Bhakti to Prema Bhakti. This is the journey we have to tread. So we are right now in the Anartha Nivriti. So those who understand all these different stages, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivriti. Anartha Nivriti is like a uphill slope, right? Just imagine if you are on this slope and if you are cycling, suppose say you are at this corner somewhere right in the middle and you stop cycling, stop pedaling. What happens to the cycle? It just goes back. Does it go at the same pace or the same amount of time you took to climb that? It will go faster, right? So if you stop pedaling for some time, possibly you took half a day to reach that, cross that, come to that position in the hill, you might take 5 minutes to go down. Right? So if we stop pedaling, we can't get over Anartha Nivriti, because only after Anartha Nivriti is, Nishtha, Sakti, Ruchi, Bhava, Prema and all, we can't talk of Upurta. Right? So if we love Krishna, if we want to get there, then we have to pedal. We have to continuously keep pedaling. This is the whole process of Tivra Bhakti. If we do Mishra Bhakti is, a material sense enjoyment on one side, maybe we'll do some grana, some mental speculation on the other, and all of this is giving me happiness. This is not going to be Anya Bilashita Shunyam Gnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukevulyena Krishnanu Sidanam. Right? So we have to do very Tivra Bhakti to get over all these challenges, problems that we have. Why these challenges are important? Because they are affecting our consciousness. Our consciousness is affecting our chanting. Is that okay? Okay. Now we have to move from Anartha Nivritti to Artha Pravritti. Okay, what is this? Now for Grihasthas or Hone Wale Grihasthas. Okay. The very practical guidance Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave. Okay. This is what we need to do. Okay, please calibrate yourself. 8 hours daily duties. What are daily duties? Sleeping, eating, bathing, etc. 8 hours. 8 hours occupational duty. What is occupational duty? Whatever you are doing to earn money. How many hours? 8 hours. What about the remaining 8 hours? Bhakti. So if we are serious about Tivra Bhakti, first is we have to commit time. Baba, time nahi hai. No time, no gain. If we don't have time, we can't proceed on this path. Okay, so this is very important. And he said, make home a temple. Okay, what does that mean? Actually, we are expected to invite, of course, which is what, Jaipatak Maharaj has, that is our process of devotional service that we are preaching, that we follow here about Bhakti Vriksha. The whole idea is to make each and every home a temple, right? That is a Bhakti Vriksha system, actually, right? And why we are doing that? Actually, because we get people at home, we use our earnings to actually serve prasadam, give gift to, dadati, pratigranati, all that we do, right? With devotees, other devotees, build relations, Krishna conscious relations, make home a temple, which means that only activity which is going on in the house is centered around Krishna. And more importantly, he said, this Rupa Goswami also showed, saying that 50% of our income in the service of the Lord. Okay, I will talk about this. The grihasthas, stuck grihasthas, there is a way out. Okay, I'm going to talk about that in a bit. Okay, now, there is nothing else anyway. There is no other way. There is nothing else. Krishna Nama Suddha Kariya. There's a beautiful, actually, Udilo Aruna. We don't have time. But Nama Bina Kichu Nahi. Chauda Bhuvana Maje. There is nothing else apart from the Nama in all the 14 worlds. Let us be firmly fixed on this understanding. There is nothing else apart from the Nama. It's a beautiful, if you have chance, please, sing this video at your leisure. So what we need to do for this? We need to do intense devotion. Kama sarva kamo va moksha kama udarati tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Tivra, Srila Prabhupada translates it as great force. With great force. Not itna hi ho sakta hai. I can do so much. It's fine. It's fine. Like I said, Sudama Brahman, please remember. Whatever we want. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamiham. Is that okay? So we have to do Tivra Bhakti. Now, what is required for this begging process? Humility. We talk about humility so much, right? We talk about this verse. Can somebody very, briefly, very short, define this humility? Very quickly, right? Like, I mean, not the whole thing, saying, yeah, we have to be, lower than blade of grass, whatever. That is the normal standard definition. I want a crisp understanding of this, like extracted meaning of what this means in practice. See, my whole attention is towards practical application. What does this mean? What does this Trunarapi mean? Are you going to go and lie on the floor and let somebody walk over you? What does this humility mean?
Someone respect us, offend
Just
us.
surrender.
Surrender. What does surrender mean? See, please understand. See, I am pushing this because we've heard all this. What does it mean in practice? Krishna consciousness is about Vijnanam. It is about practical application. What does this Trunadapi mean in practice? What do you do?
It's respect or offense, we take it in the same way.
Okay. Okay.
As per the instructions of spiritual master.
Okay, please answer in conjunction with chanting. Because see, all of this, what we are talking here is all trying to connect the whole process, whole thing to chanting, right? And how all of this is affecting our chanting. Okay, so I'm going to give a very different definition here. If we stop trying to be a master, only then we can become a servant. What does this mean? What are we trying to do the whole day? Our consciousness, what is it trying to do?
Control things. Yeah, master.
Control things. I am the master. Somebody cooked some prasadam. He said, this is not okay. This salt is not okay. This, you should have cooked this dish today. This one today, something else. Okay, I want this type of, soap only. I want this type of shirt, whatever, right? All that throughout the day, we are constantly just in this consciousness of being a master, small, big way, in our own ways. Till we stop wanting to be a master, we cannot become a servant. How can we become a servant if we are still trying to be masters? This is humility. Humility means just giving up, that saying that I don't want to become a master. I don't want to put on this hat at all. I want to just serve. I want to become servant. Servant means humility, right? A servant is humble. Depends on the master, does everything as per the instructions of the master. All of that is given when we say servant. We simply talk about the servant, but our mood, our mentality is that of being wanting to be a master. That is why Srila Prabhupada says lording over material nature. We read all of this in Prabhupada's books. We don't meditate on those. Right? So we have to be a master. If we want to continue to want to be a master, we cannot become a servant. If we don't become a servant, we can't beg. If we can't beg, we can't achieve perfection. Okay. So somebody talked about surrender. So this is practical surrender. What is practical surrender? Hari Bhakti Vilas. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulyasya varjanam rakshishyati iti vishwaso goptutve varnam tata atmanikshepakarpanyo shadvida sharanagati. So I'm just, because of lack of time, I don't know how much, we are already 11:30. Right? So Anukulya, so basically this is saying how our decision, this is our decision making framework. Please note, please make a note of this. This is decision making framework. Okay. Anybody again who is looking for practical approach, Sharanagati is about a decision making framework. It is telling us what type of activity should I do, what type of activity should I not do. And when I am saying, okay, this is pratikula, this is not favorable to Krishna consciousness, what is the first thing that has to come into our mind? Rakshishyati iti vishwasu. Okay, Bhakti Vinod Thakur said, saying that I need 8 hours for bhakti, but I'm only doing 2 hours. I need to get this extra 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. How am I going to get? Or maybe I have to reduce some time that I'm spending at work. Oh no, what will happen? I'm getting so much money. You know, I have so many commitments. What happened to this? What happened to that? Rakshishyati iti vishwaso. And Goptritve Varnam Tata, who is taking care? Am I the maintainer? I am not the maintainer. Supreme Lord is the maintainer. So if that is, see, our actions, this is the whole point about this, right? Our actions have to reflect our thinking. If you agree all this, okay, I am not the maintainer, but we are then, you know, we are working for 20 hours, then it doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. Right? There's a whole gap in the action to thought process to action. There's a gap. There's a big gap. This is the faith in Acharyas. Actually, I was talking to one, you know, my Bhakti Shastri teacher. She's actually, you know, Padak Maharaj disciple in Middle East. Okay. And she said that Grihasthas there, and I was like, totally, I just fell off my chair, right? She said, Grihasthas there practically follow this 50% giving to Krishna consciousness business. Uttam Prabhu, you're on mute if you're saying something. Okay. Right? So, I mean, see, this is the faith in the words of the Acharyas, saying that, you know, Acharyas have said, just, it's as good as Krishna saying, just accept it, just do it. Right? So, Rakshishati Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will definitely protect. And those of us who don't have the confidence, it is again ye yatha mam prapadyante. See, if you don't have the faith, Krishna will not extend the faith, extend the protection. If you have the faith, Krishna will extend the faith. It's as simple as that. I'm telling you again, right? Restricting. We are restricting our own progress in Krishna consciousness. In the name of practicality, in the name of disqualification, humility, whatever you want to call it. We just want to, you know, just put this one to restrict Lord's mercy. So surrender is about practical application every day, every moment. All decisions that we are taking has to be based on this principle of surrender. Okay. And what is the bottom line? It's all about desire, intense desire. Tatra laulyam api maulyam ekalam. There's only one price to be, to be given or to be paid for achieving this. What we are struggling. We are struggling with our chanting. We want to achieve that goal. What is the only one thing that we have to do? Laulyam. Intense desire. Intense desire for what? Saying that Krishna, I am not interested in all these material things. I will completely depend on you. I just want to accomplish that, you know, that goal of love, you know, your love, and then want to serve, you know, in Goloka Vrindavan. For that we have to have intense desire, greed. Nothing else is important. This has to be our mood. Then everything else will fall in place. Okay, no mercy without endeavor. Somebody was telling me, my Guru Maharaj will give me mercy. I don't have to do Tivra Bhakti. I said, sorry, you are in misunderstanding. Okay, just in the name of mercy, if we don't do our endeavor, no mercy is going to come. Many people say, I don't have, Krishna has not given any motivation for me to do. I said, like, Krishna is not, what, Krishna is your servant or what? I mean, he'll come and give you motivation. Arey Baba, first desire. No, if you desire, Krishna will reciprocate. You don't expect Krishna to come and, my glass is there here, please take it from here and keep it there. What is this? Krishna has not given me motivation. I mean, this is all wrong thought process. It starts from there. So it is consciousness. It's about saying that I want to do something for Krishna. I know I'm not qualified, but I sincerely, eagerly, intensely desire for doing it. And if Krishna wills, Krishna, please give your mercy. This is the mode in which we have to go approach. Okay. So solutions, we already, okay. So a lot of it has been talked about, but I'm just some very, very practical, important things to do. If you're not doing it, please change your lifestyle. Morning sadhana program is the basis for what we are talking about. Okay, which means that you have to have Mangalarti, whether you are at the temple, at your home, somewhere else. Please fix your schedules. Sleep at 9 o'clock, get up at 4 o'clock, and don't start the answer with no. I already answered that. Why I set all that context is because when we talk about all this, the first things that come into our mind is no, not possible, a problem, o problem, this, that 150 things will come to say not possible. So we have to accept these, saying that yes, possible, yes, possible, yes, possible. This is your cheat sheet. For those who are stuck with no problem, please, your cheat sheet should be yes, Krishna is in control. That should be your cheat sheet. For everything, answer is yes. Okay, Mangalarti. It is so powerful. I'll tell you, I mean, my practical application in the last 5 months. Okay, I'm attending Mayapur Mangalarti every day. You can't believe the transformation it has created. Please try. 4:30 to 5:50. It's just a different world. Right? If you can't attend physical Mangalarti, please do, engage in move, and in that again, that absorption. What am I chanting? I'm glorifying my Guru. I'm glorifying Srila Prabhupada. I'm glorifying Tulsi Maharani. I'm glorifying Narsimhadev. Right? Mangalarti with absorption. Chant minimum 16 rounds during Brahma Muhurta. It's so important. Sleepy, can't get up. Please fix everything that is required. Now you have to know, saying that what all I need to do to change my schedule, my lifestyle, my thoughts, my everything, whatever it takes to be able to do this. Because Prabhupada, Acharyas did not give this program mindlessly. It is mindful. Okay, we do mindless things, right? Acharyas don't do mindless things. So there's a reason behind all this, because it works. Okay, Guru Puja. You have to do Guru Puja every day. Read Srila Prabhupada's books. How many of us have finished Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam at least once? See, this is very important. Why should we read Prabhupada's books? I mean, this is my favorite topic, right? Understand mode and mission of Srila Prabhupada. What did he do? He sacrificed his whole life to give us these books. Why? Not because so that we keep it as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is, Srimad Bhagavatam as it is in the shelf. No, so that we open it, we read it, and it transforms our life. Why? How does it transform our life? Because it helps us understand the goal of life. Because we are confused. While we theoretically know, we are not practically taking it seriously. Right? So we can become fixed on that goal. Because on every page, Prabhupada is hammering the same thing. Right? Is there anything new? Many devotees tell me, Prabhu, I somehow, if I read the purport, I feel I'm reading the same thing. Yes, he's saying the same thing, because there can't be anything else to be told to us, right? Because we are not accepted whatever is told. So that's why it looks. It is like, this deep well. First layer you cover, only then your second layer will get uncovered. No, but we are stuck in the first layer only. So we'll never understand what else is there in the purport. Right? So we have to get past it. Develop clear understanding of Krishna. Right? Now, this is very important. Again, Janma Karmacha Me Divyam Evam Yoveti Tattvataha. Why is this important? Because to again hanker for that goal. Oh, such a exalted, such a great personality Krishna is not just theoretically, by understanding, actually, literally, right? Clear understanding of spiritual world. How many of us here have a clear understanding of spiritual world? What is there in the spiritual world? What is the difference between Gokula and Goloka? What are the pastimes that happen in Goloka? What is Astakaliya Leela? I mean, these are things that we have to supposed to know, right? How will we know all this if you don't read Prabhupada's books? See, if you don't know about a place, if you don't know about a person, how will we desire the intense hankering to achieve him, to achieve that place? So that is why Prabhupada said, read. If you are not able to read, associate with devotees who are reading. Hear from them, whatever, right? Somehow, just put all this. We don't need vaccination discussion. We need Krishna discussion. We need discussion about spiritual world. These are the things that have to come into our head. Develop a clear understanding of how to serve Krishna. Vaidhi Bhakti to, Raganuga. We should understand this again. So many things. Nectar of devotion, we should read. I mean, this is a very, exalted path that we are on. And develop desire to serve him, right? And once we develop desire, then we have to develop intense desire to go to Goloka and serve Krishna. This is hankering. So to develop that hankering that we talked about, we have to read books. We have to read Srila Prabhupada's books. If we don't read Srila Prabhupada's books, we will not get this hankering. Okay, so please fix your schedule. And what did Prabhupada said? At least he said 1 hour. 1 hour a day, just to be clear. 1 hour a day. Right? They'll say, 1 hour, okay, hafte mein 1 hour, 1 ghanta ho gaya. Right? And Bhagavatam says, regular attendance, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke, Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Right? Actually, if you want to two things we have to do mandatorily, come what may. Chanting Srimad Bhagavatam. Mandatory. No compromise. I can give you in writing, in 3 months, you will see a change. Of course, it can be faster as well. But in 3 months, you will see a substantial change in yourself. From where we are stuck in our bhakti to where we want to go, just these 2 things, right? Mangalarti, if possible, very good, right? But if you don't have the time, chanting, reading for 1 hour. Simply by giving oral reception, all nonsense will be extinguished in the heart. All these material desires, vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, everything will get destroyed. Just by this. So powerful Srimad Bhagavatam is unimaginable. You should experience it. It's like, I keep saying gulab jamun. How much ever I describe gulab jamun, you will say, Are Baba, chodo na, just give me, I will eat and taste it. Right? So it's like this Bhagavatam is like that. You have to take it. You have to experience it. Only then, and it will bring about everlasting, irrevocable. Side here, this verse is saying irrevocable. It's irrevocable change. That means you will never go back to your nature. Okay, so that is the first part. First part of the solution. I'm just, we talked about so much of theory. First part of the solution is fix morning program, morning sadhana. Absolutely critical. Okay. Second is Tat Karma Pravartanat. 4 regulative principles. Okay, one lecture, Srila Prabhupada said, if you just follow 4 regulative principles, 50% of the purification will happen. 50%. Okay, and most of the devotees say, what is the problem in regulative principle? And I say, problem is mostly in the whole thing about, if grihasthas, specifically husband and wife relationship, right? It's very, very important. Please read Brahmacharya and Krishna consciousness if you have not already. It's very, very important. It's required for both Matajis and Prabhujis. Right? These 4 regulative principles, if you follow perfectly, 50% purification happens. Right? Those who are having struggle, please, you can read them. And eat only prasadam. Right? Eat only prasadam. Develop the right attitude. Now we have so many things, right? This utsaha, nischaya, dhairya has to be, right? This no, we have to take over this no. Right? In everything that we are given, is to say with utsaha, with enthusiasm, with determination, and with lot of patience. We shouldn't think, okay, I'm doing this today, tomorrow I have to get result. Maybe we will not get result. Right? Maybe it will take us some time. Right? But we should develop this right attitude in Krishna consciousness. So the Prabhupada says that progress in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of the follower. This is the attitude we have to develop of enthusiasm, determination, and patience. Right? Association. This is very, very important. If you are struggling, right? If you are struggling doing all this, like, Maruti van. Now starting trouble. What do? Push. So we need somebody to push us, right? Sangatyaga, obviously we talked about this, right? Give up all unwanted association. Sato Vrutte, follow whatever acharyas have said, follow in their footsteps. Let's not manufacture anything new. Just whatever acharyas have given, let's follow. Most importantly, Guhyam Akyati Pruchati, right? Which means that we should have association of somebody who is more qualified than us, right? Who has gone through all these struggles and who can help us in all our challenges, right? We should associate. See, association doesn't mean coming and saying, Hare Krishna, how are you, Prabhu? Nice, thank you. This is not association. Association means the associating with those devotees who can help us make progress, which means that we have to move. We have to move from where we are, right? And at all levels, this association is very, very important, right? So we have to build this relationship with devotees, talk to those devotees. I mean, it's been a great help for me in my life. I mean, I talk to a few devotees whom, I look up to, and, it's just every time it just, pulls me out of whatever rut I'm in, to help me again regroup myself and progress in March, right? So this is very important. So this is the key, right? Why association is so much talked about, because, we just help each other in progressing in Krishna consciousness with all our challenges by having the right kind of association. Okay, periodically do tapasya. Of course, we do a lot of tapasya, but do it with, with desire to please Krishna, right? We do Chaturmasya, we do Purushottam Vrata, we do so many of these things, right? Even otherwise, like for example, you should just say, okay, from tomorrow I'm going to just do 2 more rounds for Krishna, right? Kartik Mas, okay, I'm going to do something, right? Just voluntarily, and it doesn't have to wait for these months. We have become like this, December marathon. Book distribution means only during December. Tapasya means only during this Chaturmasya or Kartik Mas. It should not be like that, right? Should keep doing, right? Just keep pushing ourselves little and little, right? To give up. See, at the end of the day, we have to give up all these attachments, this, that, and all that, right? So slowly push ourselves. This is very important. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayaparata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadau na vidhiyate. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Bhogaishwarya. So this whole material attachment, I want to accomplish this, I want to, this car, bungalow, this, that, and all that. If you are stuck in those thoughts, then where will the absorption be? Absorption will be in only material things, right? And Krishna is saying, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya aparata chetasa. Aparata. What happened to their consciousness? It is stolen. Vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. He can't do vyavasayatmika buddhi. He can't be fixed on Krishna consciousness because his consciousness is dragged elsewhere. So we should not have major material desires. Actually, I mean, I took out some of the verses, or maybe it's there. It's there. Okay, don't get stuck with material good or bad. Some people are very stuck. This is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. Finally, it's all about serving Krishna. At the same time, it's not that we should not discriminate. We should not, discrimination is very important for a devotee, right? We should discriminate, but we should not get stuck. Anyway, this is another topic. Don't be too attached to family relations. See, please understand this. When I say family relations, it's on the material platform. What are we expected to do? We are expected to build a temple in our house practically. Everybody is a devotee. We are serving each other, help progress on the platform of bhakti, help each other in that, with that perspective. Not saying this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my child. I only want to take care of them, right? If I am my child and somebody else's child, I will differentiate. Then we are on the material platform. We are not on the spiritual platform, right? We should, all these are so important, right? We get so entangled with these, right? We are just doing service at home. This is a service that we have been given. All of us have service, preaching service. Main preaching service is our home for Prabhujis and Matajis as well, because Matajis also preach by their action. Prabhujis also preach by their action at home. Okay. Okay, so those who are stuck with material desires, right? You please chant this 518.8. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namastejas Tejase Avir Bhava Vajra Nakha Vajra Damstra Karma Shayan Randhaya Tamo Grasa Grasavam Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuishta Om Kshram. If you are stuck with material desires, etc., please chant this verse. Okay, it's a beautiful verse, 518.8, 5th canto, 18th chapter, 8th verse, Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm not going to go over it. Please go through it. This is very important. Okay, nature of occupation. So there is a Purusha Dharma and Stri Dharma. Now Stri Dharma, see, very interestingly, actually, if we are following this dharma properly, right? Sri dharma means that we are actually supposed to be taking care of home, creating a very Krishna conscious atmosphere in the house, right? Actually, it is very easy for Matajis to become more Krishna conscious because they have to they don't have to necessarily deal with outside people. Very less, right? No, don't have to have serious engagements with outside people. But Prabhu is unfortunately, because we are working to earn money, we go outside, we have association with so many people. Right, so for Mataji is actually, I keep telling, right, like so fortunate, right? Of course, Shastra says, male body, female body, but not when you come on the platform of Krishna consciousness, right? Once you are on the platform, then practically there's no disadvantage because you overcome the disadvantage in some sense, right? By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas. It's a great opportunity, right, to remain, taking care of the family, the culture of the family, the consciousness of the family, and doing your duties. And just think, come on, Yashoda Maya. What was she doing, right, at home? Cooking, thinking about the Lord, singing glories about the Lord, right? Cooking is Radharani's service. So cook nicely. How many ever dishes you want, you cook, right? Taking care of children or Krishna's gifts. Take care of them nicely. So beautiful, actually. Mataji is very fortunate. You can do more. You can become more absorbed, right, in Krishna consciousness. You're cooking, you can play a lecture, kirtan, whatever, right, keeps you absorbed in the thought process of Krishna consciousness while you're doing your day-to-day work, right? Of course, Purusha Dharma is very, very challenging. Okay, Savai Pumsam. So this is again famous. You should read first chapter, first canto, 21st chapter, I think. Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yatho Bhakti Radokshade Ahiti Ki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is saying the supreme occupation is one which actually, what is this saying? It's saying that by which men can attain to loving devotional service. Loving devotional service unto the true transcendental Lord. So if an occupation is actually taking us away from the Lord, then it is Pratikulisya Varjanam. Very simple. If an occupation that is taking us away from attaining loving devotional service to Lord, that means we need 8 hours in a day. It is not giving 8 hours in a day, then it is Pratikula, right? Then it is useless labor. Any occupational duty is useless labor if it doesn't provoke attraction to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we have to look at all this, right, and decide all occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate purification, ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. I mean, this is Bhagavatam, right? If you're working to earn money to, then we are on a different platform altogether. And what happens? Absorption. Bhogaishwarya Prasaktanam. Then we get sucked into that thought process, right? Life desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for inquiry about absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's works. Bhagavatam again. Right? Therefore, with one-pointed attention, tasmad ekena manasa bhagavan satvatam pati shotavya kirtitavyascha deya pujyascha nitada. One should constantly glorify, remember, chant, worship the Supreme. Material enjoyment should be accepted only up to the point of bare necessities of life and not more or less than that. Okay, so this is about occupation. Finally, I'm concluding. I'm just rushing a bit because there's so much, right? So this is the main thing, right? All these things are important. This is the most important. We have to be mission oriented. We have to go out of our comfort zone. All of us are in our comfort zone in bhakti. Say, I will do this service because I'm okay, I can do it, no, go out of the comfort zone, right? Why? Because mind requires something to absorb it. We require, if you have a mission, right, we get absorbed in that thought process. All the time we are thinking, oh, okay, I have to preach, these people have to send this information, that information. Always we are thinking about Krishna. Seekers of absolute truth are always overwhelmed. We should be overwhelmed with research, with doing service, with seva. We should be overwhelmed. Once Padmanayan Prabhu, he's, MI, Mayapur Institute, one of the key people there, right? He said, Brahmachari life means no time to think. This is what he said. He said, Brahmachari's life means no time to think. They don't have time to think what to do. Then only this absorption comes, right? As Grihasthas also, we should do this, right? We should not be allured by all this material sense gratification, etc. Absorbed, take up some goal, take up some mission for serving the Lord and Srila Prabhupada and our Guru, and go out of comfort zone. Right? What happens, right? See, just think about this. All of this brings that absorption that is required for us throughout the day. If you keep thinking about Krishna, trying to serve Krishna, that's what Prabhupada is saying in all his books. Is he saying anything else? Right? He's just saying this, saying that 24 hours we should be serving the Lord. Yes, we have to do our occupational duty, but limited time, right? Rest of the time we should be just focused on how do I preach, how do I get, I've been benefited, how can I take this to more people, right? So that has to be the mood. So some tips, now I'm just concluding with some tips. Now these are all big changes that I talked about. Now I'm just talking about some tips. Chant in a secluded place or with devotees. Secluded place means for those people who can't be sitting in in front of TV or in front of some house, other people are here, they're moving, right? All these are no's, right? Absolute no's. Sleepy, fix your schedule. I've seen a lot of devotees just dozing off during chanting. Please, you have to fix your schedule. Body requires rest, give it the required rest, that problem will be solved. Don't talk to others during chanting. I've seen this, even in temple, devotees are chanting, suddenly somebody comes and asks something. No, you should avoid. That chanting period is sacrosanct, right? No talking to anybody unless like the something major is happening, right? And you absolutely have to disturb somebody, right? Don't do other things while chanting. I've seen like people generally, taking things, keeping something from one place to another, doing something else. No, I'm chanting, I'm not distracted. No, nothing, right? Only chanting. Right? Keep the mobile phone away. A lot of people have this, right? Okay, one message came, let it glow in the dark. Oh, somebody has sent a message. Keep away from all these distractions, right? Now, this is one important practical tip which works for me. Right? In the Hare Krishna mantra, we have like 16 namas, right? So if we try to chant this continuously, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, our consciousness now has to be retained for 16 namas, right? We should actually break this. We should say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, nama over. As in, this is time for resetting. So from 16 namas, now I am asking you to reset your mind every 8 namas. Then slowly we'll go and reset every nama. Got what I'm saying, right? Like, today we are not focusing on our chanting at all. After one full nama, our mind is gone somewhere. We will not remember at all. Now we have to remember Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Again, Hare is coming. Second time. So again, I have to become focused. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Now, instead of getting lost for 16 namas, we might now getting lost for 8 namas, right? Then we bring it down to 4 namas and practically every nama, right? So this is a practical thing, right? You should try this. Don't get tired of begging. Now, I've seen this in my own life. One day I'll say, oh, it's okay. Every day I'm begging. Today I can just, I'll give a little holiday to my begging business. Let my mind freak out, enjoy, go here, there, everywhere. Don't be tired of begging. It's very difficult task. It's very difficult task, right? But just be at it. Just keep begging every time. Nothing is as important as Krishna. Remember this. Nothing is as important. Whatever those thoughts that come into our mind, those plans, those to-dos, etc., nothing is as important as Krishna. It's not worth wasting our time. Okay. Like I said, make a cheat sheet. So whatever we've discussed today, make some of those important points that can help you focus during your chanting. Before chanting is very important, right? We have to pray, right? We actually take many of these, we do very, very mechanically. It's not about just rambling something, right? It's about consciousness, right? We should pray, literally pray at their lotus feet, saying that, I will do offense, I do offense, please give me mercy so that I can chant nicely. Right? Absorption, the nama we were chanting, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Whole Vaishnava community is there, right? In that nama. How prayerful we should be, right? So absorption, again, just go. Don't do anything mechanical. We should not do anything mechanical, right? Srila Prabhupada, right? So merciful, we should fall at his lotus feet, saying that, without you, we wouldn't have even dreamt to do what we are doing today, right? Please give us the mercy so that we can progress further, right? Again, like I said, don't chant Panchatattva mantra mechanically. It's very, very powerful. Panchatattva mantra in our chanting every round. If you're distracted every round, every time you break your chanting, chant Panchatattva mantra. Every time your mind gets distracted, when you bring it back, chant Panchatattva mantra. Right? I mean, the idea is to beg. My mind is going here, there. Please give me mercy. please help me, please shower mercy. This whole process has to continuously go on. Right? Prayers, like I said, to offer prayers, this is very important. Dhyanam, right? This is not during chanting. This is the rest of the day, right? This is a beautiful verse. Divya Vrindaranya Kalpatur Madaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Preshta Libi Sevyamano Samam Smarani. Right? In the temple of jewels in Vrindavan, underneath desired Sri Shri Radha Govinda Dev, Govinda, served by their most confidential associates, sit upon an effulgent throne. I offer my humble obeisances to him. Right. So this is we should remember saying that, this is what Radha and Krishna are doing in Goloka, and we should dhyana. This is not during chanting. This is other time. Right. I'm just being very clear. And actually, this is also recommended. Actually, in other time, we should meditate on the lotus feet of Shri Radha and Krishna. We should know what all symbols are there, what are the significance of those symbols. I mean, this is meditation, right? This is engaging our mind in Krishna conscious things, right? Instead of absorbing our mind. And of course, Krishna also says, you worship me by reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, reading, absorption. So fundamentally increase your time in Krishna consciousness, become more mission oriented, right? Change the day, the way you are going about your day, assess your consciousness at every moment, right? Right, this is the whole business, right? Our trying to chant nicely is satisfying to Krishna. Just our attempt itself is satisfying, right? So we have to put effort, and then we will see results. I know it's been a long conversation, but many of the topics, I had to kind of shorten it because of lack of time. But the whole, just to summarize, right? Our absorption, our mind we are absorbed in a lot of material things. We have to transfer our absorption from material things to spiritual things, which is directly proportional to the amount of time that we invest for serving Krishna, which means that we should have something serious to do for Krishna, which means we should become mission oriented. When we start meditating more on our mission, how can I serve, etc., etc., we start working for it, we start preparing for it, right? Then our consciousness starts getting absorbed in Krishna, right? Then when we start our chanting in the morning, it doesn't become like a big drudgery, right? And looking at our goal, remembering, oh, this is so exalted, this goal that I'm trying to reach, I'm not qualified, and constantly beg, right? Be in this servant mood, not trying to enjoy material happiness, material things around us, trying to use everything in Krishna's service. In this mood, we have to actually chant. And when we apply all these things that I've talked about, I mean, it's like maybe a one day stuff that I've kind of put together in 2.5 hours. We will see results. And like I said, morning program, Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Please fix this. If not, I don't know how many of you were able to note down various different things. There are so many things that was discussed. But practical application, you will see a difference, right? So yeah, that's all I have to say. If anybody has any questions, comments, any feedback, I think I tried to cover too much, but it was important. There's so many things to be talked about, and it's a package, right? That was my idea, right? It's a package. We can't try to solve chanting in silo. We can't say I'm going to just try and fix chanting. That's not going to happen, right? It's not a silo problem. It's an overall consciousness problem, and it requires a holistic approach. Okay. Anybody has anything to say?
Thank you, Prabhuji. Actually, it was very, very special session. Especially when you told this partner, this begging mode, we have heard many times, but when you related that how exalted is the goal, that's why there is a need of begging, because how will I achieve it? I'm not qualified. So throughout the chanting, that mood setting up is very, very helpful. Kindly seeking your blessings so that I can apply all of these things you are already applying and sharing with us.
No, my blessings will have no use. Anyway, Guru, Srila Prabhupada. I mean, see, these are all just, I mean, see, the only thing I want to again say, right? Please read Prabhupada's books. Whatever I've talked about, there is nothing which has come out of not from Srila Prabhupada's books, right? It's just about how we read, right? When we read, we have to look at practical application. See, don't read for knowledge. Knowledge reading is first time reading, right? Which is why we should read multiple times. First time is for knowledge. Second time is for practical application. Because that Vijnana has to come, right? What Prabhupada is saying, okay, he's saying 24 hours in service of the Lord. How will I do? Right? Then we associate, okay, 8 hours at least I should give. right? So I'm saying, like, we have to start to take all that information, make changes in our life, right? Only then it will have an impact, and it's super powerful. I mean, bhakti is unimaginably powerful, right? Like I said, we are just restricting the Lord's mercy every time, right? If you open up, there's so much of mercy to be received, right? And yeah, we have to put the effort as well. Right?
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, questions, anything? Okay, so then we will end here. Ideally, I would have, if you have done this face to face, we would have had some 15 minutes kirtan so that we can, absorb ourselves in the holy name. But yeah, please try to build this. You build up your chanting, prayer, being prayerful before you start chanting. Whatever, so many things that we talked about, and every day make an effort. If any of you, want to discuss something, on whatever I said, or some specific problems that you're dealing with, etc., feel free. I mean, my mobile number, I've sent you all a message, so you can feel free to contact me, and we can always discuss anything if there is. Because
Can
in
this
the
PPT be shared, Prabhuji?
PPT will be shared. Okay, I can share. The only thing is, I can share email IDs. Okay, all of them are there in the registration, I think. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll request somebody, maybe, Anu Prabhu or Rohit Prabhu, somebody can help me with that. I'll share the Excel sheet and you can circulate. Anyway, I mean, the PPT by itself might not help understand the whole thing. So because you've gone through it, maybe it'll help you to kind of, go over it again. I'm absolutely happy to share that. Reach it across. Okay. Chai, thank you so much for all your precious time. I hope I'm not wasted your time. And if there is anything beneficial from this, please pray so that, I can also make progress in my own spiritual path. Thank you so much.